you're playing blues in a minor key, the 1 chord and the 4 chord are minor, and the 5 chord stays a major chord and probably a 7th chord. Exercise number 112 is a 12-bar blues in the key of A minor. Also has a little bit of a variation towards the middle of the progression where you'll hear an E minor 7 flat 5 to an A7 going to the D minor 7 chord. Also, this has the embellishment of the E7 sharp 9 chord in the last measure right before the repeat. Pentatonic scales get their name from the fact that they have 5 notes in an octave. And we're going to talk about the minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic. The minor pentatonic scale is a natural minor scale with the half steps omitted. So an A minor pentatonic scale would have the notes A, C, D, E, G, and then the octave A. These are very popular scales, particularly when you're improvising around minor or 7th type chords. This first pentatonic scale I'll illustrate to you has the root on the 6th string beginning with the 1st finger. Like the other scales we've talked about, this is also a movable scale. The diamond on the diagram illustrates where the root is located. It goes like this. And if you go beyond the octave, that note. The minor pentatonic scale with the root on the 5th string played this way. Exercise number 114 is in the key of A minor, and the notes that are used for the solo come from the A minor pentatonic scale. Now, even though the chords might change, as long as they stay in the key of A minor, I can use the same pentatonic scale throughout the entire progression, the A minor pentatonic. Because the minor pentatonic scale can be used to play solos over 7th chords, it's a popular scale to use in playing the blues. This next example, number 115 out of the book, uses the C minor pentatonic scale, beginning with the root on the 5th string with the 1st finger, and this scale is played over the entire blues progression. Again, even though the chords of the blues are C7, F7, and G7 in this key, the one scale that is used for the solo is the C minor pentatonic. The major pentatonic scale is another 5-note scale which is built by taking a major scale and omitting the half steps. The pattern for the major pentatonic with the root on the 6th string beginning with the 2nd finger goes like this. And if you go beyond the octave, put that extra note on. The major pentatonic with the root on the 5th string beginning with the 2nd finger played this way. And if you go beyond the octave, Now, both of these were vertical scales. The major pentatonic can also be commonly played as a horizontal scale. Let me demonstrate this for you. This would be the major pentatonic scale, beginning with the root on the sixth string with the first finger, but this is the horizontal form of the scale. Then if you go beyond the octave, the major pentatonic scale, the horizontal version that is, with the root on the fifth string would be played this way. And if you go beyond the octave, the major pentatonic scale can be used with major type chords or with any chord from the major key. So if I'm playing a piece of music in the key of D and I use chords from the key of D, I can use a major pentatonic scale for the entire solo. Exercise number 117 does just that. It's in the key of D, and the scale that is used for the solo is the D major pentatonic. The blues scale is a scale which is based on a root, flat third, fourth, flat fifth, natural fifth, flat seventh. Now this scale can be used to improvise around seventh and seventh type chords. It's very commonly used against the blues. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of patterns of the blues scale for you. This would be the pattern beginning with the root on the sixth string with the first finger. Go beyond the octave. The blues scale beginning with the root on the fifth string with the first finger. And then beyond the octave would be. The blues scale can be used to improvise around all of the chords in the blues progression. Example 119 is a 12-bar blues in the key of A, but even when the chords change in the progression, I'll still play the A blues scale for the solo. Exercise number 119. The blues scale can also be used to improvise around minor and minor type chords for a blues progression in a minor key. Exercise number 120 is a blues in the key of D minor, and I'll be using the D blues scale for the entire solo. Sequencing refers to taking a melodic pattern and then repeating that pattern or that thought while ascending or descending a scale. For example, using the C scale in first position, this would be an example of a sequence. I'm going to go up 3 notes of the scale and then back to the original note. Then I'm going to take that same pattern and start on the next step of the scale. Play the pattern again. Then again, going through the scale. So the whole sequence, when put together, sounds like this. There can be an awful lot of different kinds of sequences depending on the pattern that you want to use. Some of the exercises that we're going to play now use sequences from different types of scales. Exercise number 128 uses a sequence from the D major scale. Through the solo, you can hear patterns like this. In that particular sequence, I skipped one note of the scale going down, then came back and got it, and repeated that pattern. So I played thirds descending through the scale. You'll hear different kinds of sequences through this solo. Exercise number 128 in the key of D. The scale that is used is the D major. Exercise number 134 contains a sequence using the A harmonic minor scale. Exercise number 139 uses the sequence and also uses the A minor pentatonic scale. In exercise number 140, the sequence comes from the C major pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you three different fingering forms for the diminished chord. This first one has the root on the sixth string and is played like this. The next diminished chord has the root on the fifth string, like this. And this diminished chord has the root on the fourth string and is played like this. Technically, with the diminished chord, every note in the chord, or every finger in the chord, could be the root of the chord. Every note name can name the chord. But with these particular patterns, it will probably sound best if you play them and think as though the lowest note that you play is the root of the chord. That way you can connect the base of the chords together, and the diminished will make a nice passing chord. Exercise number 141 uses the diminished chord with the root on the sixth string. Example 141A uses the diminished chord with the root on the fifth string. The diminished scale, or the whole half scale, is built by playing a whole step, then a half step, and continuing that pattern through the scale. Play a couple of patterns for you demonstrating the diminished scale. This first has the root on the sixth string, beginning with the first finger. And if you go past the octave, that note. Now the diminished whole half scale with the root on the 5th string, beginning with the 1st finger, is played this way. This particular diminished scale, the whole half scale, can be used to improvise around diminished chords. Exercise 143 has a G sharp diminished, and over that particular chord, the G sharp diminished, the whole half scale will be used. The diminished scale we just finished playing is the diminished whole half scale. Another form of the diminished scale is the diminished half whole scale. This scale is built on a series of half steps and then whole steps. So it would be played with the root, then a half step, then a whole step, then a half step, whole step, half step, and so on. This diminished scale is used to improvise over 7 flat 9 chords. Or for that matter, any kind of a 7 with an altered 9. It would also work with a 7 sharp 9 chord. Let me show you a couple of fingerings for the diminished half whole scale. This has the root on the 6th string, beginning with the 1st finger. And the diminished scale beginning with the root on the 5th string with the 1st finger would go like this. Again, this is a good scale to use over a 7 flat 9 chord. So the root of the scale would have the same name as the root of the chord for which you're playing it. The third chord in example number 145 is a G7 flat 9, and over that I'm going to be playing the G diminished, the half whole scale. The augmented chord is a major chord with a raised 5th. I'll show you some of the fingerings for the augmented chord. This is the augmented chord with the root on the 6th string. This is the augmented chord with the root on the 5th string. And this is the augmented chord with the root on the 4th string. Now I'll play exercise number 146 from the book. This contains some augmented chords. The whole tone scale is built with a series of whole steps, and this scale can be used to play over 7 chords with an altered 5th. So it would be good for a 7 sharp 5 chord or a 7 flat 5 chord. Some of the more common fingerings are written in the book. I'll play 2 of them for you. This first one has its root on the 6th string, beginning with the 2nd finger, and is played this way. And if you extend beyond the octave, that note. The whole tone scale beginning with the root on the 5th string with the 1st finger, played this way. In exercise number 149, there's a place where there's a D7 flat 5 chord in the 3rd and in the 4th measure. And over this chord, I'll be playing the D whole tone scale in the improvisation.